Douglas, what is your relation to Giacometti? Your perception until now. What was your perception?
I think, I mean, when I was at high school in Scotland, my teachers said, you know, if you want to be an artist, you need to go to Paris. That's why I came to Paris. And I think I was 16 or 17 years old. And I went to Centre Pompidou, Musée d'Art Moderne, Musée Rodin, Louvre, and I'd never seen anything like Giacometti. I wasn't attracted to them, but they stuck, you know. They have they're emblematic.
Impact.
Yeah. And then I keep seeing them for the next, well, I was, let's say 16, 26, 36, 46, almost 56. I saw them for 40 years. And a few years ago, the Fondation Giacometti here asked me if I would do something. And I said yes, because I liked the building, I liked the director, and I liked the curator, and I liked the atmosphere. You know, sometimes you say yes, and then you realize that maybe you don't know. And I knew there was something special, but I didn't know how to classify or clarify, and I'm using my hands all the time because what I realized was important for me with Giacometti was that against almost everyone else, most sculpture tries to eradicate the idea that it was made by a human being, you know? And the finger marks are taken out, everything's polished, smooth, and he's the opposite. He's everywhere, you know? And this is what I said, you know, he almost wants to be caught. So I wanted to catch him.
Ah, your turn to catch him.
Yeah, and you know, I liked the idea also when I learned a bit more about this neighbourhood. I mean, I spent nearly 2 years here. I spent almost 2 years here.
And it's near the cemetery.
Yeah, and I was overlooking the cemetery day after day after day, and during the couvre-feu, because I know what curfew means, but I didn't realise that this is coming from couvre-feu. And I tried to light some fires, of course, because that's, you know, I have that kind of thing. And I realised that this is there's a special thing in this neighbourhood, you know. And then someone told me that he didn't like to go to too many cafes, you know, with Sartre and de Beauvoir and whatever else. He really liked to hang out with Samuel Beckett. And actually, it was Annette Messager who told me this, that they would go drinking in a nice way, and Samuel Beckett would drink Irish whiskey. You know? And Giacometti would drink Scottish whiskey, Scots whiskey. And he drank Johnny Walker. And Johnny Walker is a walking man.
Ah, wow!
Incredible, and that's thanks to Annette Messager, I have to say. And there's one piece.
L'homme qui marche.
Oui. A Johnny Walker, it's Scottish, you know, it's from Kilmarnock actually. And there's one piece which, they don't know this yet, but there's one piece which is not in the show yet. I think it will be in the show later, it will appear in the show, and it's to do exactly with the walking L'homme qui marche, a Johnny Walker, you know. So I felt an affinity. Then I find out that Giacometti dies in January 1966. I'm born in September 1966. January, February, so March, April, May, June, July, August, September. And if there are these games going on, then I think it's a good enough game for me to play. And I found some books in Giacometti's bibliothèque, which I already had without knowing.
Like what?
Le Idiot de la famille, en fait.
This is funny, right? From Jean-Paul Sartre?
Ouais, ouais. Oui, qui est habité juste à côté de
Oui.
ma maison ici. Et
In English?
it's only written in French, but I had 2 volumes because L'Idiot de la Famille it's a 2-volume publication, and I found them by accident in Rennes. No, sorry. Jeanne d'Arc was tried.
Orléans.
No.
Anyway, so?
Anyway, so I find these 2 volumes, and 2 volumes of Jean-Paul Sartre and Flaubert is too much for me. So I gave one to Ronnie Horn, who is one of my greatest girls. And I think it's amazing that Paris seems very vibrant, at the moment. What's great for me is that my exhibition is here, and we have Ronnie Horn, Felix Gonzalez-Torres, Dominique Gonzalez-Torres, and Charles Ray, all in the city at the same time. And this gives a perfect context, I think, to what I am doing. Because I'm doing sculpture, but in a very broad sense. And one of the pieces which is not in the show is my copy of L'Idiot de la Famille being thrown from the cemetery to the building. And a hand, which you might recognise, catches the book. It took about 30 different times to do this.
And your hands are the main character of the exhibition.
Yeah. And they're recognisable in life because of this thing.
And
I think, people said, what will you do after the exhibition? And I said, well, these are the hands that once held something. And sometimes, especially when you're a younger person, or maybe not young, but I remember meeting someone who shook my hand, and I said, have we met before? And he said, maybe if you met Muhammad Ali. Because this hand shook the hand of Muhammad Ali, and you've now shook that. And even if this is kind of ridiculous, I love the ridiculous. And
no, but why making your hands the main character of the exhibition?
They're the last thing I look at every day.
And they are important.
While I can still feel with them, yeah.
Merci, monsieur.